Geordie Journo's back and it's a positive video. Come on! 2-1 against Manchester City at St James's Park. Very rarely beat Manchester City in any game, but after 12 without a win in the Premier League against Manchester City, back with a win today. Harvey Barnes with a brace, could have scored 4, him alone, and Newcastle hung on for the win today. Yesterday you said, and we said after the press conference, regardless of what happens today, you don't really learn an awful lot about Newcastle. And as journalists, we used to learn 5 things every game, didn't we? So what did we learn today, John? Did we learn anything about Newcastle United today?
What did we learn? I think maybe not learn anything, but our thoughts have sort of been justified. Vindicated is the word I'm looking for, yeah. First of all, just a really deserved win. Excellent, from 1, this is easy to say, 1 to 11. Extraordinary performance by every man in black and white. Effort, unbelievable. See, in the first half, I thought Newcastle shared it. I thought they should have.
They were, yeah.
Both teams had chances. Both teams had chances, but I thought Newcastle should have been in front. I think it was Harvey Barnes with two missed chances. I think one of them might maybe been a touch offside.
Yeah, it might have been saved.
But it was that left-footed 6 yards out, put it wide. Nick Voltemara getting chances today as well. I mean, that's the first time that he's hit the target. I mean, not hit the target, sorry, but the first time a goalkeeper has saved a Nick Voltemara shot. That was twice in the first half. So it's good to see him getting involved. That was the most involved he's been for a good while. So a really good first half, and it was about could Newcastle United kick on in the second half, and it was sort of end to end in the end, I would say. But Newcastle getting ahead, then coming back from the blow of going 1-0 each, so then getting back ahead. Quick, yeah. And the one of the questions you asked on the press conference is holding out. We'd seen that time and time again, and you made the example during the game, and I couldn't agree more. The Arsenal game,
it felt like
where it was the left back has to come off, and Lewis Horn, it's the 5 at the back, and it's almost a little bit disjointed, Jacob Murphy going out a left wing back. You haven't got the players there to play the system, if you like, but this time they held out and they fully deserved to hold out, and what a victory that is. I mean, not learn anything new, I don't know, but it's a proper statement win that. It really is. Like I say, they don't beat Manchester City very often, and they were coming here and full of confidence as well, beating Liverpool last time out, and I thought that was a really deserved victory by Newcastle United.
It was. Look, we can be as positive as one. Based on the 90 minutes today, that was brilliant, but we know how good Newcastle can be, and what it was today was making up for the crap we've seen in the previous weeks before it. They've got points from a game where more often than not you drop points, so take the positives today, but all it is at the moment making up for lost ground. They need to play like this more often. But what we did see, and what was so refreshing from Newcastle today, the fullbacks coming in, that identity came back.
A functional team on it.
10 yards higher up the pitch, They were creating chances. It came into the Nick Voltemara argument, he was getting more involved, the wingers were more involved. That's as involved. Okay, he missed 2 glaring chances in the first half, Harvey Barnes, one a few seconds in, and then the open goal miss, if you like, as well. But he was more involved. Jacob Murphy put 2 or 3 really good crosses into the box, including that one for Harvey Barnes, and it came from the left backs. I think Tino Livramento was a little rusty at times, but the energy he brings to get through 90 minutes after not playing for 2 months, and that challenge at the end, the sliding tackle to block the cross was incredible. So the energy levels he showed are brilliant, and this is no slight on Kieran Trippier, who I think is technically a brilliant footballer, but you can see him, and especially Dan Burn on the other side, they drop back because they're scared. If a ball goes over the top or through ball goes through, they're going to be outpaced. So whereas Tino Livramento doesn't have that fear, and Lewis Hall might not have the pace, but he's a fearless attacking fullback as well. And it was so refreshing to see that identity return, and there was a couple of tweaks in the midfield as well, which I think really worked. Joe Linton pushing high up, actually winning the ball back in high positions, may lack that quality on the ball at times, but that intensity came back, and I'm sure we'll get on to him in a second. One man who really epitomised that throughout the game was Sandro Tonali, who had a slight tweak in the way, you noticed it quite early on, slight tweak in the way he was playing in his role, but I thought it worked to a T today.
Yeah, he was almost like the number 10 in many ways today. He was
towards the end, he was.
Yeah, he's really advanced. I think it was every time Newcastle sort of ready to, on a goal kick, whatever, ready to take a long to now. He sort of pushed up, Bruno dropped in. I thought it was really clever. I mean, Tony's got the legs to get up and support Nick Voldemort.
Yeah.
I mean, not just his advanced sort of role, but he was just everywhere the day for Newcastle. His engine is remarkable. I think probably benefited from not playing from Italy early on the week. Newcastle,
Thank you, good to so.
Newcastle reaped the full benefits. Now, I'd describe him as world class in player ratings. I thought he was.
Well, he is,
I thought he was Newcastle United's outstanding man. But again, you're going through the team.
Oh, I couldn't pick. They were so good today.
You can't do 0.5 in ratings.
No, I was saying like
8, and then it was like,
yeah,
he's probably an 8.5.
Yeah, it was a frustrating one in that regard. But yeah, I think everyone was just, all the starters at least, because changes made towards the end, it was just almost a hang-on job towards the end, playing on the counter-attack. So yeah, the 11 starters, all brilliant today. I think special shout out, obviously we've mentioned Lewis Hall, Tino Livramento, transformed Newcastle based on the team we've seen recently. Fabian Schär coming back in, as we nearly get kicked out. Fabian Schär coming back in, I thought he was a breath of fresh air. Him and Malik Chow.
Yeah.
Look, I think it possibly was the time to get Sven Botman out. He'd had a couple of shaky games. Fabian Schär hadn't started a Premier League game since September, since that Wolves game. Win, clean sheet. Played against Spurs in the Carabao Cup. Win, clean sheet. Scored a goal. He was in the team today. He was unlucky with Man City's goal, went through his legs. But him and Malik Chow were brilliant today.
Yeah, the partnership that I stumbled across on the video on Friday when I mentioned them two centre-halves. But yeah, just Fabian Schär, I think, give one ball away at the end of the first half, but was like his distribution was largely flawless.
Malik Chow's a class out. There was one moment where he takes the ball like almost with his back heel and just it starts a Newcastle attack from nothing.
No, again, he gave the ball away at the start of the second half, but I think that's probably the first time I've seen like any kind of mistake from Malik Chow. But you're right, that the Erling Haaland moment where he just like stands up and takes the ball off him. There was other few classy moments as well. Like, yeah, they've signed an unbelievable centre half, and he has been unbelievable so far, Malik Chow.
I've never seen a player, or not this season at least, a defender almost just deal with Erling Haaland with such composure and such ease. It wasn't even last ditch. It was, sorry mate, I'll just outpace you and take the ball off you. He did it in the first half as well. Just sort of stepped in, but that challenge early in the second half, brilliant. And Erling Haaland, look, I was saying, look, the greatest goal scorer on the planet. He's brilliant. Whenever I'm watching him on telly, he always seems to score.
Doesn't play well, yeah.
Against Newcastle, I've watched him in the flesh 6 times. I've seen him score once on his first game.
Yeah, he scored his debut. Yeah, that was a 3s each, wasn't it?
Yep. No team have stopped Erling Haaland from scoring more in the Premier League than Newcastle United. Yeah. 6 games, 1 goal.
Yeah, in there. But no, just I mean, going through the team as you say there, like Bruno really stepped up in the
first goal.
Really stepped up in the second half. Just like
he's involved in both of them, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. Which we'll come on to actually, because there was a bit of. Well, actually, we'll just come on.
There was a few interesting decisions, few talking points, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the first one was the first half was the penalty appeal when Fabian Schär did get a touch on Phil Foden.
He took him out.
But the thing I would say, and I don't know the rules, is that, I mean, this might be proven to be nonsense, but I think because Phil Foden already taken the shot and it was going wide, the fact that Fabian Schär connected with Phil Foden after sort of went in Fabian Schär's favour.
Yes.
It was, when I seen the replay back, I was like, oh.
I'd be disappointed if Newcastle weren't given a penalty for that. That's all I'd say. Though I do recognise Phil Foden had his shot.
Yeah.
The ball was out of play. But I suppose anywhere else on the pitch, if you take a play out in that way, it's probably a free kick.
Yeah. I think maybe if it's given, it's probably not overturned. But a bit of sense from, a bit fortunate from VAR there perhaps. But and then the second half as well, there was a lot of complaints around Harvey Barnes' winner. Firstly offside, which took an absolute eternity, by the way. I looked at a couple of angles, it was like, oh, Bruno is just offside. Yeah. And it was funny because the replay back shows the offside, and he's playing him onside with his shoulder. I think it's Ruben Diaz playing Bruno onside, which, again, you take it.
Yeah, if Bruno's scoring with that part of his arm, is that counting?
I don't know.
Well,
but that wasn't City's complaints. It was the apparently a foul on Donnarumma, which I didn't see. I haven't looked at the goal back yet. Maybe there is a foul in there, but I didn't see it with my eyes. So you know what, bugger off. Pep Guardiola was quite funny in his press conference after. He was like, he got asked about it, but he was giving out. He's like, yeah, everything's fine.
Yeah.
But it was quite. So he always gives a funny press conference as Pep Guardiola, and he's on that type of mood. But yeah,
it may have taken almost a decade, but it's finally justice for that 2-yard offside Sergio Aguero header.
They went down.
Or Chiote's disallowed goal for offside. Never offside in a million years. So yeah, justice served, just slightly delayed.
Yeah.
Thanks to VAR, which we won't say much this season, but yeah.
No, just as I say, one thing I would say about Newcastle today is obviously a lot of criticism, the fallout of the Brentford game, a lot of concerns about the direction in the season, in which the season was heading. But that was a manager and a group of players today that came together, were united, and put in a performance that should be the catalyst now to really kick on.
It should be the standard set. It has to be, really, because how many times have we seen Newcastle, maybe not this season, but certainly at stages last season, definitely the season before, they'd have some big highs and then they'd go to Everton away or Burnley at home type game and then not let the levels drop. They've set the standard now. Hopefully, I think a lot is determined by the likes of Tino Livramento and Lewis Hall staying fit, and there was a bit of concern with Lewis Hall going off. But Eddie Howe did his best to play that down after the game.
Yeah, cramp, he said, which I thought it would have been, but given he just came back, and Eddie Howe, to be fair, has been speaking about Lewis Hall as if he was an injured player, even though he's been fit for best part of a month. So there was a bit of concern there, but as we understand, he's fine. Which, I mean, the two fullbacks transformed the team. As you probably don't appreciate the fact that Newcastle have been penned in quite a lot this season. They don't have that fullback that just drifts out of the ball. It's not Dan Burns' game. Kieran Trippier isn't that fullback anymore. Technically very good, but dare I say his legs aren't quite the same, if you like.
He's got a hamstring problem at the moment. So
that's why he was left out today. But yeah, the fullbacks made a massive difference, and I'd say they're tweaking midfield for Tonali to play a little bit further forward. Joe Linton, probably his best game in terms of the season in terms of Premier League performances.
Yeah, probably
taking away a brace against Bradford in the Carabao Cup. So a lot of things work today. That was a Newcastle United that we associate this with Eddie Howe.
The one we know and love.
Yeah, that's Eddie Howe's Newcastle United. Intensity, battling, just wanting to outrun your opponents, and they did that today. And just hopefully that is the turning point. Again, I know it was said yesterday on the video that we'll learn anything new. We know they can do this. That's sort of like under the lights. It's Newcastle United's bread and butter. I feel like they can do that, but I think that today, the context of the result and the performance I came away with more confidence than what I would have thought I would have today.
Of course, it does kick the can down the road a bit, where it's like, do we learn anything new? We'll find it out probably at Everton.
Yeah.
If they can kick on and get that away win, get that sort of demon off the back, if you like. So yeah, real positive step in the right direction, but we can't let Newcastle get into the old habit of one big step forward and then one step back. So that would be my message. Loads of confidence. We saw the Newcastle we all know and love return, that identity return, the intensity, everything about the team today. There was so much to love and enjoy, and it was a great game of football, I thought, on the whole. Just can they follow it up? Can they keep that consistency? Because we know they're a very good side. That was a side who looked like a team competing in and around where Newcastle think they should be. They won today. They're still 14th. but the 4 points above the relegation zone, 4 points off the Champions League places. So that's how I look at it. They've closed the gap on what looked like a bit of something emerging there. If they didn't win today or if they lost today, you're looking over your shoulder rather than up above.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we seen pre-match and it was looking at results and it was like, oh, Forest.
It was one of those freak days, wasn't it? Where it was like all the teams at the bottom. I put Newcastle in that, unfortunately.
Forest are winning. Callum Wilson scored twice at West Ham. Thankfully Newcastle United did their job, and that's all they can do.
It was the perfect weekend of Premier League action.
Shall we go on ad break before we do our second part?
Yes, here's a word from our Geordie Journos sponsors. Comply IT Limited. Worrying about disposing of your old IT equipment? Don't be. Comply IT handle everything. Secure collection, detailed tracking, and certified data destruction. That's Comply IT Limited. Four Rivers Financial Planning offer holistic financial advice for all stages of life, ensuring your plan remains robust and adaptable in the ever-changing world we live in. For 21 years, JLM Travel have been offering great deals on package holidays and cruises, plus low deposits and free kids places are available. Branches at Maingate Team Valley and Front Street Wickham. RJ Building Surveyors is a trusted RICS accredited family-run firm with over 15 years of experience specialising in residential surveys and valuations. Based in Yorkshire, their expert services extend nationwide. Whether buying, selling or seeking peace of mind about your home, they've got you covered. Right, we're back, and those were our Geordie Journos sponsors. And something else, Jordan, if you want to partner up with the Geordie Journos or get in contact with us, what do you do, Jordan?
Yeah, please contact or please email geordiejournos@gmail.com. We will get back to you at the earliest opportunity.
Yes, that's Liam's admin job, and he's usually hot on those emails. He wasn't here today, giving his son a brilliant birthday.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it's all about. So, well done, Eddie, and you gave Liam and his son a great day out. Lovely.
Yeah.
What we want to talk about now, Jordan?
Yeah,
because I think something we brushed over. We were like, everyone was so brilliant, almost ignoring. Well, we touched on it very, very briefly, ignoring the actual match winner, the player who scored 2 goals, who missed 2 sitters in the first half, scored 2 good goals in the second half, particularly the first one, I thought. But yeah,
great
Harvey
finish.
Barnes, he scored 6 goals this season. Newcastle's joint top scorer, all of a sudden.
Yeah. No, I know he's. I think we've always we've been looking at Anthony Gordon's performances in recent weeks, and Anthony Gordon has dropped out of the team and hasn't really felt like a loss really, because Harvey Barnes has been filling in with goals. Now, again, I wasn't at Brentford, so I can't speak for Harvey Barnes' performance, but the only bit of quality in the game. That goal against Brentford was top quality actually.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like made the goal himself.
Yeah, yeah.
And then today he missed them 2 chances, and you're looking at it going, oh, God no.
Yeah.
So because in the first half it felt like that sort of like typical story of kind of rue them missed chances.
Felt like Barcelona a little bit,
Yeah.
where they started with such intensity, went in at the break and 0-0, and you're going, that's so frustrating because they've played well, they've created chances, they should have scored. It's 0-0 against a very good team who will only get better in the second half.
Yeah.
I thought Man City got better in the second half, but Newcastle also up their levels, and that was really good to see.
Yeah, I mean, Donnarumma pulled off some decent saves in that game.
Very good,
I mean, mentioned the Barnes, as much as Barnes should score with inside the opening 30 seconds, Donnarumma still guessed the right way, if you like, and then it was the header from
telegraph from Harvey Barnes as well.
It was exactly, yeah. But the header from Voltemada as well, where he saved that one. So I thought it was going to take something special to breach the Italian goalkeeper this tonight, and Harvey Barnes, it was a great finish right in the bottom corner. He couldn't have put it more in the bottom left corner. Brilliant. If he tried, and then a bit of composure, alertness in the box to score the winner. I mean, Bruno's header bounces off the crossbar, and Harvey Barnes manages to sort of shimmy and get his body in front of goal and put the ball in the net. So, look, he can't do much more, Harvey Barnes, to be honest. If he's scoring goals, then you can't really criticise him.
No. No, I think Harvey Barnes will go down. History will reflect very kindly on Harvey Barnes because he scored a lot of goals for Newcastle, considering how many games he's played as well. And you look at the same period with Anthony Gordon, Anthony Gordon is probably at full tilt in Newcastle's strongest 11, but Harvey Barnes has stepped up in recent weeks. I think it's fair to say. He did it around the cup final. He didn't take his chance when Anthony Gordon had his red card, had his suspension earlier in the season, and that was a real frustration. But the last few weeks, I think he's stepped up, even though Newcastle, until today, were flagging a little bit and lost that identity and that eye for goal. But Harvey Barnes, I'd say pound for pound, is probably Newcastle's best finisher, even though for 45 minutes today it didn't look like that.
He's had a much better 2025 than Anthony Gordon, that goes without saying. I think I'm stating the obvious there. But yeah, I mean, the challenge with Harvey Barnes was to come into the team and put a run of performances together, and I mean hasn't done himself any harm today.
No.
So you're looking at Anthony Gordon potentially coming back for Marseille, because Eddie Howe says he's very, very close to return. He said in the press conference there. Kieran Trippier, there's not much of an update on him yet, but and then again, looking at the team selection and Tuesday, what does Eddie Howe do now? Does he rotate? Does he sort of look at the Marseille game and go, it's kind of a free hit in many ways, because Newcastle are only a point away from...
Depends what way you look at it.
Yeah, or do you go for it and go and try and finish in the top 8? It'll be interesting to see what he does, because Tuesday is a very, very quick turnaround. So do you look to rotate regardless and then go back maybe at the weekend, the team that you play today. Who knows? But I think Harvey Barnes is like he did during that run when he came in around the Carabao Cup final, has made it difficult for, at least based on today, made it difficult for Anthony Gordon to come straight back in.
Yes, very good from Harvey Barnes, but yeah, very good from the whole team. And I think the changes probably should come because it was such a big physical effort from Newcastle today and a mental effort as well. It's just who comes in. Do they have the players? Because the bench today was quite concerning. Where you have the two goalkeepers,
two youngsters,
you have Sean Neave and Alex Murphy. At one point we were thinking, does Alex Murphy come on if Lewis Hall's knackered? But Eddie Howe shifted things around, brought Sven Botman on. I think, do you maybe have to go a 5 at the back against Marseille? I don't know.
Dan Burn comes back in, doesn't he?
Dan Burn, he answers
He'll probably come back
some questions, but does he come back in at left back?
I think he might, because I think Lewis Hall coming off with cramp today. I think it's the perfect, not an excuse, but it's almost like, I really put it in on Saturday, boys. Did Lewis? We can't play him again 48 hours later, essentially. So
yeah, that's going to be a fun watch.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. We'll wait and see.
I love Lewis Hall. Like, I think he's just brilliant. And the fact he's only 21, and we saw it today, his composure on the ball is brilliant. We saw it in glimpses, particularly in the Athletic Club game before the international break. And the fact he's gone away with England, he's played 2 games. Okay, he's cramped up today because it was such a big physical effort. You probably do bring him out of the team, but he's such an important player for Newcastle. And if we're talking about one thing we learned, even though we didn't learn it because we already knew it, but one thing that was really reaffirmed for us today is just how important a player he is. Newcastle are he could be the Sandro Tonali move into number 6 of this season, if you know what I mean. Like, where Sandro Tonali around this time last year dropped into that number 6 role, Newcastle season clicked and they never looked back really from there. Can Lewis Hall being back in the team, staying fit, that's a big if as well. There's a lot of caveats to it. Can that be the sort of eureka moment? I say eureka moment, it's not a blindingly obvious moment for Newcastle United that just turns the season round, hopefully. It's
both full-backs. I mean, going back to last season, did we ever really see the full potential of Lewis Hall and Tino Livramento? Because I actually thinking going through this video now, I actually think that was probably one of Tino Livramento's best performances at right back.
Yes, yeah, because all his best performances were in Lewis Hall's absence at left back, No, you make a good point there. That was possibly, after 2 months out and not playing at right back for a while, that was probably Tino's best performance at right back in a long time.
He's reset his brain, Tino. He's like, I'm a right back. He's looking at the mirror going, I'm a right back. I'm a right back. I'm not a left back.
I think he has, like.
Yeah, but no, I was stumbling across it. I think it was probably one of his better performances at right back because I always wondered, is he actually a right back? I know he's right-footed, but he's right. His best performances came at left back. Yeah. But honestly, having those two, like the future of England having those two, Hall and Livramento. So keep them fit. You'll see today Newcastle have got a very, very different dynamic about them, and it just makes such a difference having 2 full-backs that can carry the ball forward, and world-class midfielder and Sandro Tonali, who, as I say, I thought, as much as the full-backs were a real difference today, I thought Tonali was just as big of a difference in terms of his energy at the top end, at the top end of the pitch, and also getting about everywhere else.
Yes, very, very good from Newcastle today, and some big decisions to come up for Eddie Howe, particularly defensively, because you're looking at, Kieran Trippier comes back in, Tino Livramento hasn't played a lot of football, Fabian Schär hasn't played a lot of football, Lewis Hall hasn't, Dan Burn comes back into the equation, Sven Botman comes back into the equation. It's a lot of big decisions to make.
Yeah.
And they've just held Man City, they scored, but they've just held Man City to a single goal and really defended well today. I thought they were brilliant. So some big decisions to make for Eddie Howe, but we'll discuss that and more the next time you see us, where we'll be, fingers crossed, in Marseille.
Yeah. Yes, we're flying to Dublin on Sunday night.
Tomorrow, yeah.
So, time's it now? Yeah, we'll be preparing to we'll be in the air.
Yeah.
I'm going to Dublin.
Yeah, so here's some pre-match viewing, or pre-flight viewing as far as we're concerned. So, we're a bit all over the shop, but we plan to be at the Velodrome in Marseille on Monday for Eddie Howe's pre-match press conference. Not confirmed if Newcastle are training or not.
Yeah, we don't
I
know.
imagine possibly not if it's not been released
Yeah, I
yet,
don't
but
know.
we'll wait and see. And then to discuss another Champions League game for Newcastle United. And on the back of such a sort of important win, it feels like we've got a bit of a spring in our step as we get on that flight to Dublin, to then Marseille, and then all over the shop on the way home, hopefully. After
I must add, we're flying to Dublin to get a flight to Marseille.
Yeah.
I don't know if I had the suitcase.
we're not just going to Dublin
Yeah,
just watching the game on TNT or whatever.
Yeah, so we'll get there hopefully in enough time for the pre-match press comments. We should if flights are on time. But having experienced airports over last week.
We'll do a video anyway, whether we're in Marseille or in an airport, or maybe not from the streets of Marseille. I think we're more sensible than that. But stay safe, everyone who is going to Marseille. We'll endeavour to do the same, and we'll see you in France.
Yes.
Au revoir.